Welcome, everybody. Another special episode of Power of Hayes Voices, and it's gonna be a really good show. So, I love when we have guests. All right. So, and with that being said, I'm gonna let my hostess with the mostest introduce herself, and also we got somebody new on the mic with us doing the podcast today with us, and hopefully this won't be the last time. All right, so we'll see. All right, Tyra.
You already said my
I already said
name.
your name, didn't I? All right, introduce yourself to the like they don't know who you are.
My name's Tyra. I'm the hostess of the mostest, like he said. Yeah.
And my name's Lyandri Washington, the hostess of the mostest best friend.
All right, so we gotta give a let's do this. Let's do a hold on, make sure I get this turned off. All right, hey, cause we have Lyandri with us, so I gotta give her applause.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna introduce our special guest. So I had this whole thing that I wrote out. So we're gonna welcome, welcome. We are highlighted. I don't know. All right, so welcome back to the Power of Hayes Voices, where we highlight the leaders, innovators, and community builders who shape the world around our students. I'm your host, of course, Mr. Cooke. And today's special guest is not only an outstanding physician, she is also my personal primary care doctor, someone who I trust with all my health and my well-beings. Dr. Robin Conley.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here.
Yeah. All right, so thank you so much for my invitation. I was gonna get this whole speech like your accolades and all that type stuff. So y'all just read that in the description. All right, we're not gonna do that.
We ain't got to do all that.
All right, so before we get started, again, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. When we started doing this podcast, I really wanted, when I was talking to the students, I said, hey, we really need to step our game up, because and start inviting. I know before I asked you to come to actually speak to the kids, first, but then I could never really get it to from that. Yeah, because we was always we have a lot of changes sometimes. So I said the perfect thing we'll do is probably just do a podcast, and so be part. And so really, you are one of our outside first guest from
Okay,
outside. So
awesome. Well,
so-
I'm glad to represent.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so I'm gonna let this Tara and Ms. Washington, they're gonna ask a couple of questions, and we just gonna get this thing rolling. So who gonna start? first?
Absolutely.
Oh, Ms.
Hit me,
Washington.
girls.
All right, what you got?
I have a question I've been dying to ask you.
All right.
What inspired you to be a doctor?
That's a great question. Actually, I didn't know I wanted to be a doctor until I got older, like late teens, early 20s. Most of my family, my mom, my grandmother, they were both in medicine. Both of them were nurses. Both of them did either pediatrics or geriatrics. And I saw, how much they would nurture and care for and the relationships they had with their patients. I actually thought I was going to be a background singer for Mariah Carey when I grew up. But
Whoa.
that was not as realistic, surprisingly, as becoming a doctor. So I started to shadow my mom. I started to shadow other medical professionals, and I got inspired. And I figured out, okay, the nurses are the ones who are doing the direct care, but the doctors are the ones who are making the decisions. And so I really wanted to be the one that, if somebody's going to get real help, it's going to come from thinking, it's going to come from planning, and I'm really good at both. So I figured that's the direction I was going to take. So that's what inspired me to get into medicine.
Well, that's really, really cool. I also have a question too. Out of all the fields in medical science, why did you choose family medicine?
Also, another great question. So, family medicine is all encompassing. If you look at all the different specialties in medicine, you have some doctors who focus just on bones, you have some doctors who focus just on women's care, some doctors who just focus on autoimmune disease or diabetes, whereas family medicine does all of that. My day is very varied in terms of who I see, what kinds of conversations I have. I can go from one room to the next, and I'm going from, dealing with infant care all the way up to geriatric care, a patient who's, 91 years old. And so it's the variety that attracted me to family medicine. And also, I like to consider myself a jack of all trades. I'm good at a lot of things, but there's not any one particular thing that, that interests me. Everything interests me. So that's what family medicine kind of looks like. And that's why I chose it.
That's cool. Very, very cool. That's
I
so
heard,
cool.
I heard you went to Talladega University.
I did go to Talladega College. Yes, ma'am, the college. And it's actually only about 40 minutes or so from here. It's a historically black college or university. I'm very proud of that. I feel like it was a unique experience because, in our world, we have lots of diversity. But of course, when you go to a historically black college, you're surrounded heavily by other African Americans. You get to see different facets of our culture. You get to see different experiences of our culture. And so I feel like I learned a lot about my own community just by going to a black college. And so if you get the opportunity, if you get the scholarships or you have the interest, your mom and dad went to one, I say go there because I feel like that's where I flourish the most and I feel like that's where most little black girls can flourish the most.
This is like well, not that really personal, but it's like
Go for it.
okay. It's not personal at all. I don't know why I'm saying that. But what was the hardest part of medical school for you?
Girl. Okay, that's a great question. So the hardest part of medical school, if I had to call one thing, is probably just studying because there's so much material and the way that they presented it to us when we were first starting school is that it's like eating pancakes, right? You can't just eat 4 pancakes all at once. You have to eat it one bite at a time, right? And so studying or going to medical school is very much like that. And so once you kind of see it that way, it gets easier, but it ain't easy, if that makes sense. And so that definitely was the hardest part because you feel like, okay, I spent all my energy studying this thing, and then the test didn't have any of those questions on it. And so now you have to learn to be more varied, make sure you're looking at all the things and have an understanding of everything that may or may not potentially come in front of you. And so that was the hardest part for me.
So like, what's your advice for students who like want to become doctors or become doctors in your field of education?
Okay, great question. So pretty much the earlier you can figure out what you want to do, the better, because you'll have more exposure to that thing. So I mean, like I told y'all, I didn't figure out I wanted to go to medical school until what I consider late. And I mean, who says 18 or 19 is late, right? But it is considering what you want to do because they want you to have certain amount of community service. They want you to have a certain amount of shadowing. They want you to have a certain amount of grades, and then you have to have specific classes and things like that. And so the earlier you know what you need to do, the better you can plan out how to do it. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I would say if I was giving advice to my younger self or giving advice to you guys. If you know what you want to do, whether it's going to medical school, going to law school, if you want to be a dancer, you want to be a singer, whatever it is, the earlier you get started toward that, the better you'll be. And, maybe you'll wake up 21 years old and you've achieved your dreams, right? So that's what I would say.
I have a question. So I know family medicine connects you to every stage of life. What part of the work brings you the most satisfaction?
Okay, that's a great question. So I would probably say the continuing relationships I have with my patients. Mm-hmm. I love when, a patient has had a significant life change or a serious problem, and I was one of the people who kind of had to kick in to help them, mm-hmm. and then I see them when they've come out of that. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest, most satisfying thing for me. I'm so happy to see that they're not going through that anymore. Maybe they've come out better from it. Perhaps someone had to have a major surgery, or perhaps someone was really, really close to passing away. And, we had to kick in and really put our, heads together to figure out how to fix this situation. And we fixed it. That's probably the most satisfying thing for me.
Okay. I know one thing, since being your patient, one thing I've always enjoyed is how you listen and how you really connect. And I think that's why I'm not afraid. I'm afraid to come to tell you about something I'm supposed to be doing and not doing. But I understand that you really care about your patients. You really care about us. So, and I think that what makes me feel more comfortable, because sometimes you need that, even though you kind of get at your patients, but but they know that you care.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I really love about your practice. And so,
thank you.
All right, ladies.
Well, if you all don't mind, I want to expound a little bit on what you just shared
Go ahead.
with, caring for my patients and kind of where that comes from. I try to make sure that I treat everybody as if they were my sister, my brother, my cousin, my uncle, my buddy, my friend. And so, I want to put as much energy into someone as I would my brother, as I would my cousin, and so I feel like if you, as a physician, because lots of my colleagues have great bedside manner, but they don't have good follow through, or vice versa. And I try to make sure that I do well with both, because this is what I would want for my mother. This is what I would want for my friend. This is what I would want for my buddy or my colleague or something like that. And so I feel like in communication with others, that's what kind of sets me apart, even from some people who are, just as brilliant, if not more so than me, is that I'm treating everybody like they're some type of special person to me.
Okay. And I know Dave was gonna ask about students. You know how, like, we're, as a society, we really don't eat like we should, like vegetables and things like that. And with so many different things like sugar and Takis that I can't stand. What, like, I know y'all think about it. Do y'all really eat healthy?
No.
Most kids don't.
Most of the time. Some of the time.
Most kids don't.
A little bit of the time.
So what are those, like, preventive checkups, like, for things for students to remember about health tips and stuff like that?
That's a great question. So most of the turning point, I would say, in childhood happens kind of in the preteen, teen years. Usually their metabolism is going so fast when they're little.
Oh, so that's why they want to eat all the time.
Yeah, when they're little, they got all this energy. They want to eat up everything. And so they can get away with eating nothing but sugary snacks and Takis and stuff like that. But when you're in that turning point, you're 11, you're 12, you're starting to get taller, you're starting to, fill out a little bit more, and whatever that means, then now that food starts to stick a little bit more. It starts to have a little bit more carry on with it. So that's usually the point. And it's mostly the parents' responsibility, because they're the ones who are buying the food and stuff like that.
Yes.
But at the same time, at 12, you're old enough, you're big enough to be conscientious about what you eat, and to recognize that I've only eaten Pop-Tarts and snacks today. I need to eat something real, like chicken or fish or veggies, or drink some water, things like that, right? So usually that turning point, those preventative things, is making sure that you yourself are paying attention to your own habits and trying to develop healthy ones. Also making sure that you do go to your yearly doctor's appointment, because they're usually making sure you got all your shots, that if you need any blood work, you can have that checked on. If your mom or dad dealt with stuff when they were little, it's stuff that you might have to deal with too. So those are some of the things that even as a kid, you can participate in and help yourself.
Yeah, I saw Tyra look over like a shot. God, I just got a shot yesterday.
Come on now. It's a part of life. I get my shot.
But I think that kind of, all right, ladies, do y'all look at our neighborhood, like your neighborhood, like we really don't have grocery stores, like what food deserts are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You don't know what a food desert is?
I know what a food desert is.
but
Not in my neighborhood necessarily, because we can just walk down the street to like Aldi.
Okay, so they have
Yeah.
access.
So, but I know in some communities they don't have this because I know in my community it's like we have a Publix, we have a Winn-Dixie who was about to close, but actually we have two Publix, we have a Walmart and our Aldi's, and I think that kind of believe affects like the health, like healthy foods. You know, it's either in mostly unhealthy food, the more cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, I
like-
mean that's kind of the curiosity, right? Why is the unhealthy food the cheapest and the healthy stuff costs the most?
Yeah.
And so that makes people, if you're financially you're not able to afford this kind of stuff, then yeah, you're gonna go for what you can afford, and you're gonna go what can fill your family up. And so, yeah, food deserts still exist. We have a lot of them here in Birmingham. I know the mayor is trying to do things to correct that,
Yeah.
but having that access is extremely important. Or the families have to kind of get up and find somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Make sure you buy from the farmers markets that show up on weekends. Try to get fresh produce and things like that.
That's that candy that we was talking about, that high metabolism. That y'all don't know, Washington just snuck like a piece of candy. Like, I gotta have it. I need that sugar.
I wondered why she was giving me that look.
That's why she was all quiet. Tyra, there, y'all can just see their faces. It's hilarious.
Gil. Okay.
So, ladies, y'all have a question? Well, while you think about it, I saw you was on Ask the Doctor segment. What is that?
So the Ask the Doctor segment, they have a few of them on different news stations like Fox or ABC 3340.
Yeah.
A lot of times, because I'm affiliated with Princeton Hospital,
Oh, okay.
their PR people, if you will call me up and say, "Hey, doc, are you available to do an Ask the Doc segment?" A lot of times the news picks the subject, so it might be based on the season. Like if it's Valentine's Day, they might ask about safety with, going out to, dates and that kind of stuff. Or if it's Halloween, they were doing one about, Halloween safety, walking through the neighborhood doing trick or treating, or how much candy is considered too much candy and that kind of thing. And so it's really fun to do those. I'm the only one in my office who's willing to do those. I think my colleagues are just sick of having to talk all the time, but I don't mind it. So I like going on those segments.
Oh, that's good. So, did you think?
See, like through this entire talk, I've been rethinking my entire life choices today because I've had like 10 of these candies.
Well, good. We got you thinking. That's right.
But I think if you ever think about it, sugar it's like a dopamine. It's like it's really
It makes
can
you
be
Yeah, it does.
addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
like I watched it somewhere where eating sugar releases the dopamine factor in your brain.
And so that's why it's gonna be a craving. Like,
But too much sugar
It's bad for
is
you.
bad for you.
you be like me. So I'm a diabetic, and I didn't realize that until
My
when I
mom's
got to
diabetic.
college. So it really runs in our community. Especially from the Black community and the Hispanic community. So I think that's something that we really don't.
And
talk
it doesn't
about.
hit you until you're older. And so
Oh, it
you've
hits you
done all
hard
these
when you get older.
things when you're young,
Be
and
like-
you didn't realize you were setting yourself up for that kind of thing.
So like my uncle, he died. He ended up cutting his foot off. So
Put it down.
So I know you do like volunteer work, and that's one thing I'm trying to get my ladies. We gonna start doing more volunteer work. So what are some of the volunteer work that you do?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked because actually I just celebrated my 21st anniversary as a Delta Sigma Theta.
Delta.
All right. And actually, to celebrate, we are going to be volunteering at my Line Sisters Diaper Bank. That's
Awesome.
tomorrow. And so her diaper bank collects resources and materials, mainly diapers, but also other things that babies need. And she provides like community-wide baby showers and things like that, just to give parents and who don't have a lot of resources some help, because diapers are not cheap. And so we'll be out there tomorrow. And then other times that I've given back, I like to do a lot of speaking. So I will speak to the community. Earlier this year, I did a breast cancer talk at one of the churches in Hueytown, where I'm from. And I do that talk every year, where I just share with the community updates, statistics, I particularly like to talk about Black women because I am one. And so I talk about how breast cancer affects us and, what sort of things you can do to help prevent it for yourself or look for it if it's in your family, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And so I do a lot of speaking engagements. And then when I can, I donate in finances because, nothing helps more
Mhm.
than, giving $1 or $2.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of different things that I do there. And so I'll give money to Princeton Hospital so that patients can get mammograms,
Mhm.
which helps you to test for breast cancer. I give a lot I've donated to my Lion Sisters diaper bank. I will donate to Gardendale community
Mhm.
activities because that's where I practice medicine. That's where most of my patients are from or have a connection to. And so whenever somebody asks me to do something, if I got the time and the energy, I'll get up and do it. And I like being here. I like being here. So
That's awesome. And we really appreciate it. Ladies, I'm gonna let y'all do the one. I have a closing question. I like to ask.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to a middle school student listening today?
Okay. So for the middle schoolers listening today, I want you to know that you are important, that you're special, and that the earlier you can think about what it is you're interested in, perhaps your family, your friends can kind of help you decide what direction you want your life to go. Just believe that you can do it. Whatever it is you want to do, you have the capability to do it. Utilize your community, talk to other people, and make sure that you behave well, that you listen to your teachers, and that you remain active so that you can be the best adult that you can be.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Conley. Thank you for being an inspiration and for giving our students and families valuable information because there's a lot of things that we don't know, and you actually, kind of open my eyes about some stuff.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry. What you got? Dar?
I've heard about diet sodas and zero sugar Cokes and all that.
Yeah.
I want to know, is it better to drink a diet soda than a regular one?
No. Diet soda has special sugar in it. They say zero sugar because it doesn't.
They're lying.
They're lying to you. That's right. If I had to pick my poison, I would rather you drink a small regular soda than to drink a large diet soda because the kind of sugar that they put in that, our bodies cannot metabolize or clear. And so the water's better. The water's the best, yes. But our bodies really can't metabolize that special sugar. Plus, I don't know about y'all, but it tastes gross.
Yeah.
So
I don't like it either.
I say if you want a Coke, drink a Coke. If you want a Sprite, drink a Sprite. And try to avoid that diet stuff because it's really not as helpful as they say.
What about those shake 'em up? The shake 'em ups that you put in your water and stuff like that.
Those are okay. Really, they do that just to encourage you to drink water because most people just hate the taste of water. But even those, depending on which ones you buy, will have that special sugar in it. So be careful. You want to look for something that just has straight up regular sugar because our bodies can metabolize regular sugar. That other stuff's going to stick to you.
I think the way they come in with that corn syrup, they use a lot of corn syrup and stuff. And
corn syrup's not great either,
Yeah.
just because it's thick and it's pretty much concentrated sugar. It's like sugar 3000. So try to avoid corn syrup if and where you can. Now that does not go for Thanksgiving, and it does not go for the pecan pies that will be served this
that
weekend.
sweet tea,
All
we in the
right.
South, you know it is.
So that does not apply to that. So don't mess up the pie and then tell, well, my doctor said, don't call my name for that. But otherwise, try to avoid corn syrups and those alternative or those kind of fake sugars.
And, all right, one question, Takis. Someone said that if you eat Takis, it starts eating up the lining of your...
Hey, I said that.
Did you the one that told me that last year?
If you eat too many of them.
They said because...
pretty much Takis are like a roll-up with meat in it. Right. And so, theoretically, it's not terrible. The worst part of it's the wrap up, right? So the tortilla shell or whatever.
No, not those. Those ones. The
spiciness
spicy.
about it.
No, it was
Like
chips.
how,
that when they have all that.
see.
Yeah, those Takis.
Yeah, those spices will eat up the lining of your gut. Because, yeah, that's true.
Very smart.
Because think about it, they're really, really spicy, and so our lining can only take so much.
Yeah,
and you gotta be careful.
It's being a young, and you're developing. Is over time.
They're yummy, but
I've eaten a whole party bag of one of them once.
Well, you're gonna be going to your doctor trying to get some reflux medicine in just a minute.
It's all
right.
right. It's all right.
How old are you?
13.
13 years old. Finna go get some
No,
Rolaids.
And so I think that's one of the things that you really have to. I don't think
my friend has another question.
I don't think we really don't understand how some of the foods that they're like, oh, they taste good, but over time
How they affect
they
you.
start affecting your
They
body,
do.
and you
That's
just
true.
start. It gets worse, and then the older you get, and you be like, oh, I really shouldn't have done
I
that when
shouldn't
I
have
was.
done that.
So you really don't have that.
So half of adulthood is regrets on what you did in your childhood.
That is true. That's true. That's true. All right.
I have a question. You know, like the hazelnut spread Nutella?
Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing wrong with Nutella
So, like,
in moderation. Oh, Lord.
if we put it in, like, I sometimes eat it for breakfast and I spread it on the toast.
Okay, I got no problem with that.
But some people just,
Eat it.
yeah.
Yeah. Those
How
people
much
are,
of that are you,
uh,
like, is
that's a lot of sugar.
recommended?
Not eating it from the container. That's too much.
Yeah, way too
So
much.
probably a tablespoon, maybe.
So we're gonna leave it at that question because we have to move on. All right, but so
Thank y'all for
ladies,
having me.
awesome questions, and Dr. Conley, thank you again. And to our listeners, remember your health matters, your dreams matters, and your voice matters. Thank you for tuning in to the Power of Hayes Voice podcast. And Tara, where can you reach us at?
You can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
All right, so thank you again. And did y'all learn a lot today?
Yeah.
All right.
I really did. I
All
my
right,
eyes
and
open.
we are.
Thank you.